Naila, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the Courage to Fall podcast.
Hi,
I'm
Tony.
looking
Thank
forward.
you for the courage to receive me.
Let's see by the end of this conversation. How would you like to introduce yourself to everyone listening or viewing us right now?
So, I'm Naila Zreik Fahad. I'm the co-founder of an edtech organization called Lebanese Alternative Learning. In another life, I used to be a French literature teacher.
Should we start with the other life first?
Okay.
Tell us,
So,
tell us, French literature teacher. Nice. Tell me more, would you?
I used to be a French literature teacher at the Université Saint-Joseph in
Hmm.
Beirut for more than 20 years. Uh, During my life as a teacher, I used to be the guinea pig of the what was called the TIS department. So it was the beginning of Moodle interactive platform, and I was always ready to try things. This is how I became very close from Naji, the co-founder, and from an experience volunteering at a hospital, we came up with an idea of creating a digital learning platform. So to introduce me, I'm
And
also the
this is
mother of
where
three wonderful kids. This also defines me.
wonder absolutely. Kids or like young
No,
adults
grown up,
or
grown ups.
grown-ups? We both have grown-ups. Fun having grown-ups.
Yeah, nice
Uh,
having grown up.
right. So moving from a professor of French literature to doing your own thing, which is the shall we call it LAL for practical purposes for now?
Yes, so it's Lebanese
Lebanese
alternative learning.
alternative. Okay, and this is you founded this with your co-founder Naji.
Exactly.
What, just for information, what do you do at LAL? What does LAL offer today?
So LAL works on three pillars. The first pillar is innovation. So we innovate digital learning platform free to access, aligned with the Lebanese curriculum in three languages. The innovation here is a pedagogical approach that focuses a lot on self-directed learning, autonomy of the child. We also innovate in creating access solution online and offline access solution to reach the most remote areas. So once those solutions are innovated, we scale. Scaling is by uh, having partnership with schools, providing capacity building, both webinars and on-site capacity building with teachers. We also have a mobile container, and lately we have implemented alternative learning spaces in 12 location in Lebanon. It's an alternative learning space is a tech hub. So it has the offline server, the program and tablets to access it. And of course, the training of the community receiving the space. It's a fading out process. The space will become the ownership of the school or community receiving it. And the last and hardest pillar is scale.
Uh-huh.
Financial sustainability, but also institutional sustainability. Institutional is our national partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Center of Education Research and Development, plus big international agencies. It's all the partnership with other local NGO is our uh, monitoring and evaluation and scaling process. Financial sustainability is a headache.
Ah, I'm a fond of what you do. I feel that you do what you can with what you have at the time to create the most impact. and innovate in the process. And that's not an easy thing to do at all. Uh, I know that you've succeeded in so many fronts, and I feel, I'm giving you all sorts of kudos now, and I know also that you've made it in Lebanon. You can make it anywhere. I'm interested in talking about maybe the scaling side of things and the sustainability side of things, and what's keeping you up. What's worrying you today? So, is that fair would you like to address any of these issues or other issues, the major challenges? So scaling, sustainability, and uh, and what's keeping you up all night, if any. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're cool. You work on it.
I look cool, but it keeps me up at night. So one of the challenges is the fact that we grew faster than we expected due to the multiple crises. So we started in 2012, no COVID, no crisis, and then when the several crises hit, the need for digital learning platform grew. We were here, we were present, we already had something, and we grew faster than we could manage. So this was
Mhm.
one of the challenge. The need to have more people working with us, hire more staff, not having the money to hire the needed staff, depending on donors and project. So that was still is one of the challenges. Another challenge is even though we secure proposal and project is donors process and requirement.
Mm.
I often call this as a new colonialism. Uh, so
Okay.
they ask for so much guarantees and they ask you so many questions while you work in emergency and and yes you can answer those questions but you don't know what the reality of the field will be, what will happen tomorrow, how you will cope with this, and still you have those very strict rules that keep you dependent of a donor and are not able to, to change the project when needed. Or if you need to do so, some are very flexible. It's complicated to obtain the necessary permission. So I totally understand this. There have been so much issue with NGOs in Lebanon. I totally also understand this. But again, here comes the fact that we do not have enough people to respond to this. So it takes from
Mm.
from the people valuable time doing emergency response to write those kind of or answer those kind of asks.
I can see what you're saying. You're basically saying I have to deal with things by the hour, by the minute. I have so many emergencies, and the terrain is changing so quickly. It's so fluid. Yet the system that dispenses of these resources, whether they're financial or whatever, is very bureaucratic, very slow, and sometimes inflexible. And you have to work in between these two spaces, these two worlds. Is that
Exactly.
fair?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you do in these? How do you deal with it in such situations? What do you? How do you solve it?
I this is where I have to recognize that I have an amazing team, willing to do the extra work, working on weekend when necessary. Uh, uh, a very also cohesive team. We have been working together since some of them since the beginning. Others are here from 5 to 6 years. So everybody, and I would say our horizontal way of working. Uh, we do not have a hierarchy, so we work all together, we support each other. There are no
Mhm.
closed roles. We can all, play other role when needed. It's not always easy, but it's also it has built this cohesion that really characterize the LAL team. So if you
What
ask me
would
what
be
is LAL, it's
yeah.
not what we do, it's the team behind what we do that is really the engine behind the work.
Yes, I can attest to that. I visited you in your offices, I don't know, a month or two ago, and it's buzzing. I like your office. I like the area you're in. It's a very Beiruti area. The offices are nice, and the team. You can tell, when you walk into a space, the vibe and the spirit of the space. It has a very nice spirit. So I can attest to that. Now, let me take you to. You mentioned something about whether sustainability, right? Whether it's in the systems or in the financial to be self-sustaining, what would be your ideal case today? I'm trying to lead you into something like scalability and what would make you happy today for Lal?
Um, to really have financial independence, so I'm able to take the decision I want to take to hire more people. So really finding this financial sustainability idea that
Hmm.
will keep us running with decisions that we take because we feel not feel is not the right word. We are because there is a need uh, uh, to do something.
How do you think, what would be a good tactic or a strategy to, as a yet another step towards financial independence?
You know, we tried several things. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, we have been part of accelerator groups that are supported us becoming more of a social enterprise than an NGO. But one of the limit is that we have an NGO spirit. So when we provide services, paid services to other organizations, and often the organizations that come to us are other NGO doing great things. So instead of putting a higher price to gain this financial sustainability, we end up supporting them and we love their project. And so the mind shift, the shifting of a mindset is very difficult. It's very difficult to navigate between the NGO spirit, humanitarian world, and the making profit. Even if making profit is really to sustain what you do, it's a difficult shift of mindset. Uh, uh, so we have tried, as I said, we have tried sending our know-how and services mainly to other similar organization working in education or anything else. Um, and we sometimes I think one of the solution I often joke about it is being adopted by a big uh, uh, company, a big organization, and that will take care of this side. And the problem is, even though I'm better than Naji at that, Naji is not at all a financial mind in his tech world. Uh, uh, I have to say I'm not good at that.
It's clear. I mean, it can't be clearer than this. I like what you said. One, is okay to reach financial independence. There is a change in the DNA, internal change, a mind shift. That's one. Second, you mentioned something about selling your know-how and services so that you can bring more funding and become independent. So in order to and selling is a consequence of shifting from being an NGO mindset to a social enterprise mindset. And the thing is
Something
clear.
I
And
believe
then
in.
you throw in the being adopted by some corporation. Oh, if you only think that you're going to be easier if you got adopted by some big
Yeah,
organization,
maybe not.
you'll have to report your, at least when you have a donor, when the contract is done or when the engagement is done, the donor is done, and your responsibility towards them would have ended, or it would repeat again in another project. But once you have a corporate, or let's assume, an organization that owns you, you start. It's a long term relationship. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure if being adopted would be a good. If you allow me to say that. Uh, Two questions. What do you think needs to be done to do a mind shift from an NGO mindset to a social enterprise mindset? That's the more difficult question. The easier question is, what is a good know-how, the top one or two know-how or service that you have today that you can sell? Because you said I wanted to sell. What would be the top one, two items that you can sell, and sell to whom?
So,
Or
can I
take a
answer the
stab at
second
it.
one first?
أكيد, because it's easier. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the two sides we have, the two different, the two assets we have to sell is our pedagogical know-how.
Okay.
So I think we have a very strong pedagogy behind the tech. A lot of tech solutions are just providing, quick activities, eclectic activities. We have a real pedagogy and a real team that dig deeper and deeper in the pedagogical aspect. The second know-how, we cannot compete with of course, big tech providers, but we have the know-how of low tech providing. We can provide tech solution for area with no or very unreliable connection. Uh, we can use open sources to create platforms that will not cost the client um, money after that. And we are also good in the transfer of know-how. So for the client to be sustainable, we can build a platform that is open source, create his own pedagogical path by co-working with them. And this is also one of our strengths, co-working with others to better understand uh, what they want to do, the needs they have. And the third step would be also transferring this know-how to them so they can manage their own platform. So for a
Wow.
client, it's a cheap, sustainable solution.
You've already identified we're excellent at low tech, where areas are with very creative ways of delivering education, where internet is not there, probably when electricity is very low. So you have that
So
package
this is what
for
we're
that.
doing with Palestine currently, transferring this know-how, but it's another humanitarian project. This is what we're doing with UNRWA for the region. It's this
Nice.
transfer of
Okay.
know-how and content.
So low tech, uh, know-how, transfer of know-how, like this, almost there's a consulting arm to what you do. And the
Yeah.
third one that I heard was, you don't only, if it's very high tech, the tool is a tool, but you bring in the instructional design in it, within it. So you put the, what you call it, the pedagogy, which is part pure education, educational theory, instructional design, into the implementation of a solution. That's already the way I see it, is a combination of tech, whether it's low and you're very good at it, or high tech, where you bring in the consulting arm to it. And then there is the transfer of know-how, almost like build, operate, and transfer approach. That's very commendable and very good. And question for you is, what kind of organizations or whatever you want to sell it to. You have something
So
great. What would you want to who do you want to sell it to and where?
two challenges before addressing the market. Two challenges is, okay, the selling part. We don't know how to do that. We don't know.
Okay, we've identified this already. Yes.
We know who our target would be, but this selling part, we don't know how to do that.
Okay.
And when we bring somebody to do this, we lose him completely because we are so much about project and humanitarian work, and that he has nobody, supporting him in the marketing part of this action. The second thing, it needs a whole team to create. When the project is big, we have either to mobilize our team, so it pays salaries. If it's a low period, it's very good. But sometimes we need to have other people, so it's kind of really another branch to manage. So who our client can be? So I think for now, what the experience showed us that we had the majority of our clients are other organization
Okay.
working in the humanitarian field. So we have done work for IRC, for War Child Holland, for uh, uh, World Vision, many other organization. Um, so this is our main target. With the difficulty is that they have funding, but they are an NGO, so uh, it's not, we're not making profit. We're working with them, we're producing, we are sustaining our team because we have some of the salary being paid, but it's not money making. We think that we can do exactly, we tried private, companies, enterprises, big private company enterprises.
Uh-huh.
They have the money to have sophisticated, software, which is not our specialty. And
Mhm.
so they do not really value or understand the pedagogy and the way, of teaching behind it. So it didn't work. Where it is a potential market is everything around startup and small enterprises.
Okay. Can you sell that part or whatever you think has potential in different markets altogether?
Yeah, we can. It can be also. We can also, with our experience, because what we have created resemble a lot what a national program. We took the national program, we transformed it using a pedagogy into something highly interactive. So we could eventually be a consultant for any other country
Ah,
or Ministry of Education doing this. Maybe not doing it ourselves, but bringing our experience and know-how to be to coach a team or to be consulted.
so obvious. You have a lot to offer. Two main things is we're going to call it marketing and sales department or person. Second is in parallel how to do the mind shift between be- the current NGO state and moving it into a social enterprise.
Something that a solution that I have thought of, and I'm just taking your advice on it, is
Okay.
to have two parallel, to keep the NGO as an NGO, because this a 12-year working together spirit um, is what makes us special at LAL, and changing the mindset would always change this. And so for me, it was the idea of having this marketing and sales department, which we tried to have, having this marketing and sales department as an arm, but independent from the work we do. So it's like It's like supporting us. I don't know if it is like this, like this, like this, but it's kind of having a department that would support us, but would be an independent department.
You know what? You're since you asked my opinion, I'll give it. This is a classical problem. You're not the first, nor you're going to be the last to solve it. If I if I may be very transparent and very honest with my answer, I would say the following: keep that NGO running. You and Naji stay on top of it. Fly it, do whatever. Now, create that social enterprise on the side, or whatever enterprise. Doesn't have to be social. I'm even go to the other extreme. Do a decent equivalent of an SRL, whatever. Register it in any of the GCC countries or any place else in the world. Get someone who thinks differently than you from a market perspective to run, and they'll be in charge. Give them incentive to run it, and let him or her go fly with it. Bring you the
This is what
money,
we
you
tried.
stay
Incentive
doing.
is the issue. We need a good salary to bring that person. He need
No,
a
sometimes.
marketing,
Go
a
ahead, sorry.
marketing and communication with him. We do not have the funds. So this was a circle.
Maybe that arm, maybe that other arm, you can bring a small investor, minority investor, to just get it started, and maybe the person who's in charge gets some equity in it for a lower compensation, so that when it grows. So there are so many schemes that you can put. Somebody
Yeah.
who's on the fence, right? It could be somebody very well seasoned and who doesn't need the financial cushion for a period of 1, 2, or 3 years, and they're willing to go in for equity and grow it. But the main thing is what you just said, or what you just probed me to say. Let's not try and shift that DNA from NGO to social enterprise. That might not even happen ever, right? But what you can do is be on the board of another organization, a company, commercial company, that will
We'll
take
have to
all the
discuss
know-how that you have.
deeper.
No, I know, but you asked my advice, and I think you're on the right track if you were to do this. But let me get to the point. But that takes courage to do. You paused, I paused on purpose. When I said this, what came to mind when I told you it takes courage to do?
The multiple trials that I did to bring somebody, to hire somebody to run this department, uh, was a total failure because I did not have the courage to bring, the high level people that the high level persons that could have run the NGO. I hired yet another LAL uh, 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 person to do so, and I needed to hire the adequate person. And here is where I guess, lacked courage or strategy at that time.
So the courage to invest in somebody who would stand a bigger chance of succeeding. But you were thinking about the
Exactly.
department within LAL. Okay, that
I
that
guess,
was
yes,
one.
not a department. The department was not a good idea because finally all the projects that were done by this department, called consulted, it has a name, were from LAL connections or my connections. So not really independent. Maybe, as you say, create
Sure.
a real company is a solution. And this is where I lacked vision, strategy, probably courage. Think I have too
Yes.
much to deal with. So far, projects are covering what we our sustainability, but with difficult period and stressful period in between project where you have to sustain the staff, but you do not have the money to do so. So financial is a headache.
Can we even go? So it seems that being responsible is not today is not easy at all. Okay. Now, so we talked about the courage, and you didn't have the courage to hire somebody who is maybe more capable. maybe because you couldn't afford that person. Today, what is your ideal situation today, given all the challenges that you're facing? What's your ideal, or what would be the first step you would like very much to do?
Um, uh, uh, Fade out. I think also another challenge is that I co-founded, I'm managing this NGO from previous coaching I had. I know I treat it a bit like my family.
Mm,
I have to I have learned, but I had to, to make effort to know how to delegate, how to ask people for accountability. It's like your child, you're always, okay, Mali. And so, how to ask
mm,
people for responsibility, accountability, how to delegate, how not to do everything because you cannot do anything well if you do everything. So, all of this step I have taken. Now I have a team that is more responsible, more accountable, keeping the same spirit. So it, uh, but I feel it's the right time to have another one managing the NGO while I keep my position as head of learning, which I like to do, uh, and where my skill are higher than management.
mm.
I'm not and so I think this is what I would like to see is in like a transition and having somebody that will be the managing the executive director of the NGO. That would not be me. I
That's
think it's the
that's
right time also to have new blood, new vision, new spirit, younger spirit, understanding better how the world is shifting and changing. Mhm.
This is very wise. And you want to be the craftswoman, to do the education part, which you enjoy, I feel you enjoy the most. And have
Yeah.
somebody else worry about running the NGO, say. You think this is scary, or this is okay for you? Is it gonna be easy? Is it scary, first of all?
Um, uh, I think I have thought about this for a long time now. So I probably the scary part fade also away. Uh, Now I think I'm ready to do this transfer of know-how. Uh, uh, um, from within, maybe the organization or having somebody a fresh look from the outside of the organization is probably better. I think I'm confident now. I'm ready. I just need uh, the financial sustainability to be able to hire somebody of high level to manage the NGO
Mm.
and make sure I'm
Uh,
offering something that is at least 5 year sustainable for him.
that's very good. Again, permission to suggest something to you.
Yes, please.
One, tap into your friends who are good at doing this, like the consultant friends who have seen it, where somebody moves on and somebody else takes over, just to give you the mechanics of things. That would be important, I think. Two is, are you ready to disappear from Lal for a year? Because when you give somebody that in charge, you cannot be even in education. That would be, you have to disappear for a year. You
I
know,
can.
us academics, sometimes we feel it is when somebody is in charge of a certain head of a department or a dean of a school, and they're still a professor. So what they do is, when the dean is no dean anymore, he or she takes a sabbatical. They disappear until the new leader takes charge, is given at least a year to establish him or herself in the school, in the department, in the division, whatever it is. So my question for you, are you willing to actually not answer, not follow, disappear for a year?
Yes.
Ah, good,
Yes.
good. Go do your own thing. What would be the thing you would do when you disappear for a year? What's your fantasy? What would you wanna do for a year?
I guess half the time because now I really have 0. I'm always, running after time, I guess half the time.
2
Um,
to do
I'm not sure.
half the time? Huh?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think when I have the time, I will have the time to think that of something I would like to do. I have a lot of things pending, small things, but this is more like uh, uh, a weight, not something nice I want to do. But I don't know.
So there
I
will
know
be
that
a
it
day.
is not traveling. No,
Okay.
it's more like having the time to focus on me in the inside. So, internal journey, not a travel.
Admirable, very admirable. Would you be able, while you're doing your eternal journey, not to answer those messages from Lal, not to drop by Lal's office where you're used to going every day? You think you'll do this?
The only difficulty is that Lal's office is 3 minutes away from my house. Uh,
I knew it.
this
That's
will
why I
be.
was asking.
I think if they would have to change to find another office.
Or stay in the office, but you don't. You don't go anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Difficult, no?
Yeah, difficult, especially that it's a way, necessarily I pass by Lal office when I go and come to my house.
Look, that would be extremely difficult.
Yeah, I
But
guess
maybe when you're
location.
on your internal journey, maybe when you're starting your internal journey, that will s- give you strength not to be distracted for a limited period of time, which is a year,
Maybe.
maybe.
Didn't think about that. Didn't think about, okay, if I'm not here for a year, I will not have to go to the office. I cannot go to the office. This is the hard part.
That's the hard. I think that's one of the hardest part, but it's also good and cleansing, and that will create the shift.
Mm,
Maybe, not sure.
I agree.
Naila, anything you'd like to share with us before we wrap up today?
No, no, I think we did a good conversation.
All in all, yes, I thank you. I
Maybe
thank you for
wrapping
your.
around the difficult situation we are in now,
Mhm.
the way this amazing Lal spirit and the amazing things people are trying to do to keep supporting education, believing in education and supporting each other.
Listen, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the time. I want to thank you for your courage to keep the team together, to even in most difficult times, keep giving back and for being open to options. I mean, it's amazing how you are so aware of the issues and how you're open to options is just now finding the right support for you to attempt to move on into even more productive and more impactful things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure whoever's going to listen to this will be amazed with the spirit and the information.
Thank you, Tony. You added a layer on the reflection I have. So thank you for having me
Thank
and
you.
for this conversation.
Yalla. See you.
Bye.